The history of Texas A&M is everywhere, in buildings, statues, tradition, the Corps of Cadets, and the Aggie Band. But there are also quiet little secrets hidden in plain sight across campus. One of those secrets is subtly featured at Aggie Park. What looks like a brand new space is actually built on more than a century of history. Decorative bricks you pass by today have seen some things. They've been used, moved, reused, and repurposed as the university has grown and changed. They've lined the walls of a president's home and now rest along the lakeside paths of Aggie Park. We're taking a closer look at how pieces of Texas A&M's past continue to shape its present, and how something as simple as a brick can carry forward a story long after the buildings themselves are gone.
Actually, there are bricks that are quite old from a campus building, actually from two campus buildings, and those bricks were, they're in Aggie Park now, and they started their life in a building that was built on campus in 1899. That building was Science Hall, and it was when it was built, it was known as the Agriculture and Horticulture Building. It was renovated in 1924, and its name was changed to Science Hall at that time. And so, anyway, that building continued to stand for a number of years until 1963. And it was finally demolished in September of 1963. But shortly before that, in January of 1963, the president's home burned. And that home had been built in 1891. It was located over kind of near Sabisa. And so when it burned, they already knew at that point, they already had plans to demolish the Science Hall. And so they made a plan to set aside 60,000 brick. And of course, those bricks were set aside and stored so that they could build a new president's home. And that home was built was completed in 1965 and stood until 2020 in what is now Aggie Park. In 2020, it was then demolished and used really to facilitate the redevelopment of the park. And so again, some portion of the bricks that were removed from the president's house were set aside and were then incorporated into a portion of the park that's now known as Claydesta Point. And it's a good sort of blending because they were used as pavers and they encircle an oak tree that's located at Claydesta Point, and that's known as the Rudder Oak. The Rudder Oak had stood in front of the president's home, the 1965 president's home. And so all of that kind of comes together nicely to have the oak tree that stood in front of the home, as well as a brick from the home that, of course, previously had been part of the Science Hall or the Agriculture and Horticulture Building, as it was originally named.